What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we are going to be doing our match reaction, match review, match analysis of the Premier League home game with Manchester City facing Carlo Ancelotti's Everton in this Premier League clash, which Manchester City ended up winning. And let's appreciate that it was a good, solid win for Manchester City. So we're going to have a look at what happened. Found this game really interesting, particularly with the formation change. Now, I originally thought that Kevin De Bruyne was going to play out on the right, Riyad Mahrez on the left, see Phil Foden going through the middle, but instead it ended up turning Manchester City into a 5 at the back, something that I've been mentioning in probably for the last month and a half. Manchester City doing a formation change, changing things up. It saw Rodri be that man to drop deeper and go into a centre-back position along with Eric Garcia and Fernandinho. We saw Phil Foden starting in this game. It meant Cancelo had to start in this game instead of Walker, because Cancelo is more accommodated to that right wing-back position when playing in a back three or a back five, however you want to see it. And it also suits Benjamin Mendy too. I did make a note that it also suits Angelino too. So this is a formation that does suit our wing backs, and I'm surprised it's taken us this long really to go with the 5 at the back. So Gabriel Jesus starting up top, Ilkay Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne running through the middle. Bravo was in net. Ederson's picked up an illness, so he'll probably be out now till the Manchester derby in the Carabao Cup next week, because he'll probably sit out the FA Cup game against Port Vale. So yeah, he's got a week now to get over that. He's back from suspension, but he was ill. Now, for Ancelotti and Everton, they set up with Calvert-Lewin up top as expected, along with Richarlison. Six-man midfield, it could have gone into at any one time if any of the attackers wanted to drop deeper. Fabian Delph playing against his former club. Nice to see Fabian Delph. We also saw Digne and Sidibe starting at wing-backs for Everton. Pickford in net. Seamus Coleman going in the right side of a centre-back, as Everton also went with 3 at the back. Very interesting. Carlo Ancelotti's got a good track record. He's a good, solid manager. He's a well-organised manager. He's a well-drilled manager. And in my opinion, a fantastic appointment for Everton. So this was always going to be a difficult game. Now, in the first half, 13 minutes, Phil Foden gave Manchester City the lead. Absolutely fantastic. But in the build-up, Riyad Mahrez was roughly about a yard offside. The referee and linesman didn't give it, but VAR spotted it and ruled the goal out. In my opinion, the correct decision was given. Now, the next VAR controversy came as Riyad Mahrez, he was brought down in the penalty area. Linesman had his flag up miles before to rule out for offside, and it turned out actually Riyad Mahrez was extremely onside. I thought the linesmen were told to keep their flag down until the danger was ruled out, then put their flag up, so VAR will disallow and make decisions rather than the linesmen making the decisions, because we could argue that City had been robbed of a penalty. Anyway, I think it took about 3 minutes to get to a decision, and I think a free kick was given for a handball or something like that, or an offside, I don't know. It was just odd. Anyway, all I know was no penalty, and I think the Premier League needs to try and find a way to make VAR work, because to me, VAR, whilst it's great in practice and it's great on paper and it looks good and you feel like you're making the correct decisions at times, it's slowing down the progress, it's ruining the atmosphere for some clubs, and they need to just try and integrate it in a way that makes it work. I feel like they just said, VAR's a good idea, and just immediately put it into Premier League football without actually having a way of making it work. It worked for goal line technology, but for VAR, I have my doubts. Now, half-time, Everton, they were looking dangerous, balls over the top. Seems to be our weakness. Hoofball, balls over the tops and teams chasing. Really causes us problems, particularly with how disengaged the back line looks for Manchester City. And by this, I mean that 1 or 2 players may commit, a couple of players stay deeper, so offside never really becomes a problem, and it's all too easy, particularly if you're playing with quick counter-attacking attackers. It's all too easy for them to get in and around. Now, if you've got slow attackers and target men, City will probably deal with it quite easily. Look at Burnley away, where their attackers aren't that quick, and put quick attackers on, and all of a sudden it does cause City a problem. But overall for City in that half, I felt like we was having a good half. Phil Foden looked very comfortable. The back 5 looked good. I thought Benjamin Mendy first half was getting back to his old self. I did make a note. Angelino, we may well see at some point, possibly against Port Vale, attempting this system too. But overall, even though it was 0-0, I felt like we looked very comfortable and was playing some good stuff, and I wasn't too concerned about the game. I felt like we was in control of the game. Just needed to find our clinical edge. Everton being a little bit stubborn. If we can find our clinical touch, then that would be good. VAR, though, dominating all the headlines. Now, the second half, 51 minutes in, Gabriel Jesus did get that goal for Manchester City. I'm always looking for the first 15 minutes of the half. Like, first half, it'd be great, but second half will do too. 51 minutes, though, Jesus gave City the lead. Lovely play in the middle. The ball was threaded through to Gabriel Jesus. He steps forward, twists, turns, put it onto his right foot, gets a curling shot. Jordan Pickford gets a good hand onto this and just ends up tipping it into the top corner of the net. He'll be extremely disappointed, but I don't really care. Manchester City have gone 1-0 up. He'll be disappointed being beaten on that shot. And the second goal came about 58 minutes. Gabriel Jesus again, twisting, turning, getting into space, getting half a yard, gets his shot away. Low drive, low and hard, at the keeper's near post, puts it under Pickford and into the back of the net. 2-0 to Manchester City, and back to a familiar feel. Again, I feel like Jordan Pickford will probably be disappointed to be beaten at his near post with the ball going right under him, but it's just the sheer power and pace of the ball that saw City go 2-0 up. And I did make a note, lastly, for Manchester City anyway, that Gabriel Jesus was going toe-to-toe with Mina, the centre-back at Everton. Gave him a torrid time. Two South Americans going up against each other. Felt like Gabriel Jesus here came out, well, smelling of roses, really. Thought he had a fantastic game. And to make that Gabriel Jesus 2, Yerry Mina 0. Now, in 71 minutes, Richarlison, he ended up making it 2-1. City were playing it out from the back. We'd been doing it all game, but this time it looked a bit, well, dodgy. We've mentioned Bravo before, so I don't feel like I need to mention too much about it. But he turns one of the players, looks ahead, goes to make a pass that was a bit dodgy, gets intercepted on our own 18-yard box. The ball's played out, ends up finding Theo Walcott. He has a shot which is blocked by Benjamin Mendy. To be fair, Benjamin Mendy's doing his job. Walcott's having a shot, he blocks the shot. It's not read across the defence. Richarlison does read it, ends up getting there, poking the ball miles onside into the back of the net. No clean sheet for City, and I felt like Wolves away all over again. Less said about that, the better. But we ended up holding out for the result. Fair credit, to be fair, for City. We ended up winning the game 2-1. Like, you go 2-0 up against Wolves, was down to 10 men, backs against the wall, put us under pressure. Wolves played well, put the chances away, ended up winning the game after being 2-0 down, really disappointing. So to have something similar happen at home, where we're going 2-0 up, end up making it 2-1, and then holding out for the last 20 minutes or so, shows that lessons have been learnt. And so a well-drilled Carlo Ancelotti team, I felt that was decent. So just have a look at the shots, because I feel like City in the press, in particular in the mainstream media, of course, they've been making out that City scraped by in this game, and I just don't feel like that was the case. 65% possession to Everton's 35% possession. 7 shots for Everton, 2 shots on target, 1 goal to show. City ended up having 16 shots, more than double what Everton had, more than double the shots on target too, with 7 and 2 goals to show. 400 passes for Everton, 77% pass completion rate, 773 passes for City, 90% pass completion rate. 5 key passes for Everton, 15 for City. 3 clear-cut chances created for City, none for Everton. More crosses put in the box by Everton. Everton were stronger in the air too. Everton had more dribbles and more successful with their dribbles too than Manchester City, which is surprising. So Everton's put a good account of themselves up. More corners for Everton, more recoveries for City, more tackles for Everton. City were better with their completion of tackle rate, by the way, just over 80% compared to Everton's just over 70%. More interceptions for City, the same amount of blocks, more clearances, more headed clearances, and Everton, like I said, were better in the air. And so City scraped by Everton. I thought that actually, whilst on the ball, I thought Manchester City were fantastic, and there's obviously room for improvement there. And obviously Everton have improved a lot under Ancelotti, even though he's only been in charge for a week or so. I felt like Manchester City deserved their victory, and whilst we won 2-1 and won by 1 goal, I felt like this was a rather comfortable game for City. We got into our flow, we looked refreshed. Considering we've played a lot of games throughout the last 2 weeks or so, you wouldn't be able to tell, and we've still got more games to come. I thought, actually, it was a pretty solid performance, and a job done, really, and a win's a win, 3 points, well organised. So, yeah, I'm fairly happy, if I'm completely honest. I thought that Liverpool's playing, we've got to stop looking at them. I'm looking at second place. Leicester's already played, they've won, so we're chasing second place. We've already beaten Leicester. We know what it takes to beat Leicester. We know what it takes to be able to be successful in the Premier League, so we need to apply that in the second half of the season and get ourselves a good points tally. I'm not saying we're going to win the Premier League or give Liverpool a challenge, because Liverpool, like, they're on course for a record-breaking season, but I want us to be able to get a good points tally, be able to say that, you know what, considering we picked up 100 points 2 seasons ago, 98 points last season, if we can get to around 85 to 90 points this season, that normally is enough to win the Premier League. And I can say then at the end of the season that actually Liverpool's just been a step above. They've been fantastic, but we've given a good account of ourselves considering where we were in the first half of the season, won lots of games in the second half of the season, and got a good points tally that normally would win the Premier League before Man City and Pep came along, was setting the standards so high. So for Everton, I thought that they did, well, they were okay, if I'm honest. Some good balls over, they caused us some problems. I felt like they could have caused us more problems by attempting to get a little bit more and being a little bit quicker, particularly in that last 20 minutes. It wasn't the case. And I feel like they may be thinking that they could have, well, what could have been, they could have done a little bit more. But I thought they were well drilled. They're a good team. They're a team that I think will probably get top half, maybe even a late contender for Europa League football. We'll have to see how they do in the January window. But they've got themselves a good appointment in Carlo Ancelotti, plays some good football. So that's interesting. One note I did make, Calvert-Lewin's scissor tackle, lunging, it was late, reckless, borderline dangerous, got a yellow card, VAR, I'm not sure I even had a look at it, but that could easily have been a red card. Making a note of the ref, I thought the ref didn't have the greatest of games, but nor did VAR, and that's just basically the motto for the season, I reckon. But for City, nowhere near our best. Some positives to take from the game. Nice to see Pep nice and animated. He looks well up for it, doesn't he? We pressed really well at times. I thought the 5 at the back worked really well. I felt like first half it suited Benjamin Mendy. Benjamin Mendy really needs to improve on his passing, though. All too often things are happening down the left-hand side and he gives a ball away stupidly, or he's out of position or something like that. So he just really needs to step up his game. I thought that he was starting to return back to himself. Second half, he didn't do as good as the first half, so something for him to improve on. Like I said, Angelino will suit a back 5, so I'd like to see him versus Port Vale. I thought that my man of the match, JSGC man of the match, has to go to Gabriel Jesus. Getting a brace, could easily have had a hat-trick, very similar to the second goal that he scored. Twisting, turning, goes for the near post, crashed into the post. That would have made it 3-1 at the time and given him his hat-trick and walking away with the match ball. But still, gets my JSGC man of the match, and I think one thing we do need is Edison back ASAP. Bravo, I think he's a good goalkeeper. I think he's good, well, the best of his playing days have probably come and gone, and I feel like it's something that Manchester City do need to improve on. We've got Zach Stefan out on loan, ready-made replacement. I'm just wondering if we might see Scott Carson make his debut for City in the FA Cup game against Port Vale. So yeah, there we go. That's been my match reaction, match analysis, match review on this game. Overall, not our best. A win is a win, though. We continue to chase second place. We move on to the FA Cup now. Port Vale on the FA Cup. 5:31 kick-off that game, by the way, in the evening, before we then move on to the Manchester derby in the first leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup at Old Trafford. Tiring month, January. We're nearly through the rough period that we've had in the busy Christmas schedule. We're nearly at an end. Yeah, other than that Wolves result and obviously the disappointing Manchester derby result at the beginning of December, since the international break, we've not been that bad. So we just need to find more consistency, find a way of getting the job done, get back to keeping them clean sheets, scoring them goals, take it from there, you know, looking better. So I'll see you all again for the next video. We've got daily transfer videos going out, so make sure you stay tuned for that with Manchester City. Don't forget to subscribe, press that red button, press the bell, put your push notifications on. Social media links in description below, popping up on screen for my Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, leave your comments in the comment section below, and don't forget also share the videos, email in description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. I'll see you all again for the next video. So it's been JSGC. Hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.